Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Catnip Podcast. My name is Grace and I'm your host. Today is Friday, May 5th, which yesterday was May 4th. May the 4th be with you, of course. This is a podcast about knitting and crafting and dyeing yarn and sometimes baking and sometimes just food in general, and also kind of like apartment stuff because we just moved. So that's exciting. I have not a whole lot of knitting, but I got a lot of progress on both these things, so it is a lot of knitting. But it won't take a whole long time to talk about. So I don't know about the length of this episode. Also, I did some needle storage making yesterday, so that will be in this episode, and I hope you enjoyed that. I'm recording much earlier than normal, trying to avoid the yard work that the apartment complex normally does, and so therefore I don't have tea or coffee. I actually have a smoothie, so I will go into this. I'll tell you a little bit more about this later, so I have a smoothie. You can grab a smoothie if you want, if that has inspired you to make a smoothie, or you can grab tea or coffee or whatever you want to drink. And maybe some craftiness if you'd like to do that, and you can come back and join me for some crafty chat. We are ready to record the podcast. I don't know what I was going to say. So, today there will be knitting and future knitting and some crafty DIY needle storage, and I will also mention my smoothie because I'm very proud of these smoothies. I'm very happy with what we're doing. Which I'll just go ahead and mention the smoothie now. So smoothies are very healthy. Usually they're very tasty, they're very quick, they're very easy just to like throw in the blender in the morning, especially if you have to get up early with your husband because he's going to work and you're like, let's just whip something together. Literally whip something together. No pun intended. It was either on Pinterest or on Instagram or somewhere, one of those picturely social medias, or maybe even Snapchat. It might have been Snapchat actually, on one of the various stories that are there. I saw something that was like, put all your fruit and stuff in a little bag and then freeze it. So when you need a smoothie in the morning, you can just pull the bag out and you have the portions right, and all you add is like, you can add yogurt or some kind of liquid or protein powder or whatever you want to add. And so that's what I started doing. I started making little smoothie bags and they work mighty fine. I just picked out random frozen fruits that looked good. There were some mixtures of like strawberries and bananas, and I threw some blueberries in there to give the nice purple color. There are also like raspberries and pomegranates, there's blackberries, there's mangoes, there's pineapple, any kind of like frozen fruit assortment that you can find at your grocery store. That works mighty fine. And then I also got a big like box of spinach, and then I grabbed maybe like, not quite a handful, but like less than a handful. I put it in the bottom, then I put in the frozen fruit, and then I froze those. And then in the morning I just pull them out, and then we usually add chia seeds, Greek yogurt, and either milk or orange juice, depending on what we have at the moment, or like what has been used up and what there is more of. So yeah, and then my husband had a magic bullet that he had, which was redundant, but that's okay. He has a magic bullet, so that's what we just stick it in the little cuppy thing and blend it right up, but it works mighty fine and it's very quick and easy, and it just makes me feel very healthy and very nice. It's like having your own personal Jamba Juice without all the fancy stuff, but it is fancy because it has chia seeds in it. I feel like having chia seeds just kind of makes it a little bit more fancy, or Greek yogurt. Or whatever. I don't know. I like smoothies. I don't know if you like smoothies, but if you want to try that, I highly recommend it. It is wonderful. Wonderful. So yeah, that's what I'm having my breakfast right now actually, so yay breakfast. That'll tell you how early I'm filming this. It's currently almost 10, but I've been up since like 7:30, something like that. So, yes, I will try not to be too distracted by this smoothie because it is very good. Strawberries, bananas, and blueberries. So good. Put that down. Okay, moving on to knitting. So, for knitting this week, I have 2 items that I've been knitting on, and I have gotten so much progress. Oh my goodness. Like, one of them, I put in a project. I went back and watched, or like looked at the last week's episode, and I saw the progress that I had made, so then I put in a progress keeper so I could show you guys how much I've gotten done. The other one, I've also gotten a lot done, and you'll definitely be able to tell, but I haven't marked how much I got done this week. So, let us start with the heavier of the 2 items. One is a lightweight, one is a heavyweight, and before I show you these things, I will once again like very highly support the idea of having like at least a couple projects on the needles. You have one that is a worsted weight or a heavier weight, and then you have a fingering weight or a lace weight or like a sport weight or whatever kind of weight that you want to have. Just so long as you have a lightweight one and a heavier one, because like it's almost kind of like motivating, because it's like you get a lot done on like the heavier weighted one with bigger needles, so it goes more quickly, and then you're like, oh my goodness, I got so much done, and then I'm gonna knit more on the lighter one, and I'm gonna like power through it because I am awesome and I knit so fast and it's gonna be great. And I feel like I don't know if that's you, but that was me this past week. So yes. Or it can go the other way. You can like knit a lot on the lightweight thing, and you're gonna be like, oh my goodness, I got so much done on this lightweight thing. Look at all my progress. Now I can knit on something heavier, and it's gonna fly even faster because I knit super fast, and it's gonna be great. And so either way, it's a great, like, you feel really good about yourself. You feel really good about your knitting time. You feel like you've really accomplished something, and it's like, I am the knitting speedy person, because that is an actual title. Anyway, without further ado, I will show you the heavier of the 2 items that I've been knitting on this week. You will remember this from last week, and this is turned into a mini blanket, which I really appreciate because, I don't know, usually in the morning I have left my computer like on the couch or something, so I go out and sit on the couch and look at, like, check my email and all that kind of stuff. And by the time the morning has rolled around, my computer is very cold and I wear shorts to bed, so I don't want that cold laptop on my legs, so I just happen to have this big old thing right there to like spread across my legs, and it keeps me toasty, and it protects my legs from the cold computer, and it's all good. It's all good. And then if I decide that I want to knit for a little bit, it's right there. So this is the Shawl. I will stop talking now about random things, and I will tell you exactly what this is, because I'm sure that's what you were really interested in. This is the Shawl. This looks very boring. This is the Shawl by Andrea Mowry. It is a colorwork shawl wrap type thing, I believe you would call it. It's one of those types of things that has buttonholes, or just buttons. I don't need to say buttonholes, because if you have buttons you need buttonholes. It has buttons on one of the sides, and so you can wrap it different ways, and you can button it different ways, you can wear it different ways. So I actually don't know a whole lot about how it looks, how the different ways that you can wear it, but that is just my fault because I have not done the research. But yes, so I am using, here's the colorwork section. I'm using Knitpicks Wool of the Andes, which I mentioned last week is a very good cost-effective yarn if you are looking for a cost-effective yarn that is relatively high quality and with oodles and oodles of colors, which, speaking of Knitpicks, that is one of the segments later. Foreshadowing. Um, so yes, I'm using Knit Picks Wool of the Andes. This color, the main color, is Oyster Heather. I'll show that to you up close. And then, let me pull this down because it's easier to show you that way. Okay, so here we have Oyster. Here we have Blossom Heather, Wonderland Heather, and Cadet. Cadet is not a heather, it's like a solid tealy green, but I don't think that really matters. I like the color combination. So yeah, we have a stitch pattern of just like knit pearls to create this little arrow thing, and then we have some color work where we use the various colors to create that pattern in a single row. So yeah, I am doing this various pattern here a certain amount of times, then I think I add in a couple buttonholes as I go along. I do it a couple more times, and then I add in another section of colors, and I feel like I'm getting ready to sneeze. So yeah, the shawl, I don't know about buttons yet. Probably gonna wait till it's finished. I can't wait to block it out because, like, for one thing, blocking is just so satisfying. And another, it's nice to see what it's like, all like flattened out and smooth and soft, and it smells good, and it's just like, ah, I made that. In other words, it's satisfying. So 1 and 2, it's satisfying. Which there's nothing wrong with that. So, yes. That is the Shawl by Andrea Mowry. Knit Picks Wool of the Andes. I believe it's on like a size 10 or 10 and a half or something like that. So it's going mighty quickly. It is very nice. It's very instant gratification, and goodness gracious, I love that. It is so, so wonderful. And yeah, regardless of the fact that it is Texas and it is getting to be the summer and it's going to be incredibly hot, you know what makes you happy, you know? And even if that is something wool in the middle of summer in Texas, you know, you just got, you did what makes you happy. If that makes you happy, then do it. That's great. Good for you. Yes. The second thing that I've been knitting on this week has also gotten a lot of love. It's gotten so much progress on it, which is really exciting because it is a test knit. There is a due date. And the due date is sometime next week. I don't remember when exactly the pattern is coming out, but that information will be in the show notes, which I should have mentioned at the beginning of the episode. All the various links to the things that I have mentioned in the episode can be found in the show notes. That will be linked to my blog if you're on YouTube, which the link will be in the down bar, along with all the various links to all my social medias: Twitter, Ravelry, Instagram, and Facebook. There will also be a link to the Ravelry podcast group. I couldn't think of the word for a minute. Ravelry podcast group, which you can go to Ravelry and click on the groups tab and search the Cat Knit podcast. It'll pop up then, or there will be a link down below. There's also a link to my online yarn store where you can buy yarn that I've hand dyed. It is catknitYarns.bigcartel.com, and that will also be linked down below and also on my blog. So, yes, let's get back to the knitting. So yeah, it's test knit. It's due sometime next week. Yes, it is a wonderful knit. It is a wonderful shawl. It is, I really like it because the stitch count has not increased terribly. Like, I think you only increase 1 stitch every 2 rows, I believe. I think something like that. So you're increasing a very like small amount over a longish period of time. So, which creates a very nice shaped shawl. It's like, I wouldn't even like, it's between like a shawl and a shawlette, I think what it'll be like. It's very long and narrow, and it's also kind of like, it's going to be bigger on one end than the other. That's because that's what an asymmetrical shawl is like. And yes, and again, I'll just stop talking about it, and then I'll show it to you. So you can see what I'm talking about. How about that? That would just be a really good idea. Visual examples. Okay. That's how together is connected right now. So let's try and do this without tangling them up. So yes, this is the Forever Summer Shawl by my friend Chelsea. She has a bunch of other patterns that she has designed that are very wonderful, and I have knit several of them. They're all on Ravelry, so that will be linked in the show notes, so do not worry. I highly recommend checking them out. So yes, this is what I have so far. I am completing the third lace section, I believe. And then there's like a fourth striping and a fourth lace, and then there's the bind off. So I'm getting very close to being done, and it's just like with the various different stripes and the lace and like the combination of them together and also changing colors makes it so much fun to knit. It's like, it's kind of like potato chip knitting, and it's like I just want to keep on going because I can do this and this is awesome and it's so much fun. And also I really like knitting with the yarn, which by the way, you may wonder what the yarn is, and I will tell you, it is my own yarn. Catnip yarns. It is on my Chic base, which is 100% superwash merino. It is a single. This top color is deep sea jellyfish, and this bottom color, this bright orange, reddy, whatever color, which is not accurately represented on the camera or on my computer, as I found during editing, is called Cherry Limeade. So, deep sea jellyfish and cherry limeade, which I think are together make a very wonderful summery combo, and I'm very excited, like, just how it's been knitting up. It makes it pop. It makes everything pop, which is so much fun. So yes, I am very happy with how this has been turning out, and I cannot wait to wear it. I can't wait to like block it out. I also can't wait to weave in all these ends. There are a lot of ends, but compared to things that Stephen West designs, this is not a lot of ends. Compared to the Emerald Magic Shawl, which I have not finished yet, but it is sitting out there, and next to the place where I sit and I knit, it is sitting there, and it will be finished soon, so do not worry. That being said, I have not worked on it this week, which is why I'm not going to show it to you, but it will be finished soon, hopefully. That has a lot of ends. This does not have a lot of ends, comparatively. In general, it does. Compared to Stephen West, it doesn't. So, and I mean, weaving in ends is not a big deal anyway, but just a statement of fact. So yes, that is my other knitting item, and which doesn't seem like a lot, but I still got a lot of progress done on both of them, so I'm very proud of myself. And yes. So last week I mentioned some future knitting that I have in my future, hence the name Future Knitting, obviously. And one of them is a summery sweater called Brecken by Amy Christoffers. And I do not have a picture of it to show you currently, which is very bad podcasteriness of me, but I somehow remembered to pull up a picture of the yarn that I'm going to use. So I'm going to show you that now. I actually ordered it this past week on Wednesday? The Tuesday, Wednesday. I completed my to-do list very early on in the day, so I was like, you know what? I'm going to reward myself with buying some yarn, because why not? Why not? So yes, it's Knit Picks Palette, which is a 2-ply, so there's just 2 strands twisted together, which creates a very nice and like airy fabric. I realize, like, I know that knitting a sweater out of either a single ply or a 2-ply means that the sweater is not going to be very durable. It's not going to last forever, but the rate that I wear my sweaters and like the use that I give them, I guess, I don't wear them out very quickly, so I'm not worried about it, like the elbows wearing out or whatever. And if they do, that's fine. I'll fix it. but I really want to knit it out of this yarn. And I also found the perfect color, which I'm going to show you now, and hopefully it'll work. So this is called Tea Rose, which that's pretty accurate. It's a little bit darker in person. So yes, this is Tea Rose, and it's a little darker. There we go, that's a little bit more accurate. You can see the reflection of yourself. Oh, get rid of the red reflection. There we go. That is very accurate. That is what the color is. It's very mauve-y. It says it's a dusty rose, hence excuse me, hence the name of Tea Rose. It is such a popular color right now, which is another reason why I picked it, and another reason why I liked it. Also shown up in various like color combinations for the upcoming seasons and what the popular colors are going to be. So I know that this particular color will stand the time, what is that saying? I don't remember what that saying is. That's terrible. How could I not remember that? The tell of time. Whatever, you know. It's like it's gonna withstand time. There we go. That's not actually it, but it's what it means. What am I even saying? Withstand time of the color being popular, because you know there are some colors where it's like this color will only work in the summer, this color will only work in the winter, but this color I feel like can be used in pretty much any season, so that's nice. Maybe not so much in the summer, but well, that's not true. No, I think it can be used in pretty much any season. Also, I really love the color, and if I like the color, I'm gonna knit with it. I'm gonna make myself a sweater out of it because I love the color. But especially in the fall and the winter, I think it'll be a really pretty color. So yes, that is on its way. Hopefully, it should be coming soon. It might be coming. Wouldn't it be nice if it came today? I don't think it'll come today, but it might. You never know. But hopefully, it'll come sometime next week. That will be very exciting. In addition to the yarn, because it was on sale, I got myself a little enamel pin of sheep. I believe it's either sheep or a llama, I don't remember. And I'm very, very excited about it. Probably more excited than you should be about getting a little pin. But when it comes, you'll definitely see it. It'll be on my French field bag with my other pin. I have some other pins that I need to add to it because the cool thing to do. You get pins and you put them on things, but specifically knitting bags if you're a knitter. Or if you wear overalls, you can put them on your overalls. I don't have overalls, so I can't do that. But I have knitting bags, so that's what I'm gonna do. That was definitely a tangent, but that's okay, you know. That's part of what this podcast is. Yay! So yes, anyway, moving forward, we're gonna take some smoothie sippies. Because, yes, I don't want it to melt too much. So like I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, I put together a DIY needle storage thing, which I posted a picture of a very small bit of it yesterday. So if you saw that, that's what you're going to be seeing in just a minute. I also recorded some bits and pieces while I was actually doing it. So I'm going to somehow edit that in here, maybe, or maybe at the end. I don't know which one. Either way, you'll see it at some point in this episode. Yes, so if it's going to be put in here, I hope you enjoy it. Hopefully it will make some sense. I will do my best with editing it. And yes, enjoy it. If I did not put it in here, then it will be at the end. Do not worry, it'll be there. But I'm going to show it to you now. And it is definitely not the best needle storage case by any means, but for the past 5 years, pretty much my time in College Station, my needles were living out of like a little like fabric bag. So my needle storage was literally putting needles in a bag, which anything is a step up from that. So I went onto Pinterest because Pinterest is very handy and very useful like that. I went onto Pinterest and I did a search for knitting needle storage, and of course you got the normal like get plastic boxes, and you can buy little really pretty like sewn things on the internet, and you can like have the ones that hang on the wall and all that kind of stuff, which requires buying things. And I, one, didn't really feel like buying something to store needles now anyway, and two, I didn't really want to get out and I wanted to make this. So I found something else that something did pop up, and it is where you take a binder and you take these clear plastic, this is not very well organized, but clear plastic holders, and you stick your needles in there according to their size and in number. And as I say this, all of them are falling out. So I will fix this currently so I can show it to you better, because that will be helpful. These things are just having a hard time staying in here in general, but that's okay. So yes, this is that, like, if you were to tip this upside down, it would fall out immediately. Everything would fall out. So it's not the best, but it works. It's much better than putting everything in a little felt bag or a fabric bag or whatever. So yes, I just started with, here, I can't. Let's take this up. Oop, that's not gonna work. Hello. How can we show this to you? Started with one, and we moved forward, and also in the side pocket I have my trusty needle size thing. So we just move forward, and for the case of them falling everywhere, I'm not going to show you every single page, but you can see in how I put them together. And on the side, ooh, this is definitely falling out. Let's fix this really quickly. Ah. So yeah, like, obviously there are some issues with this. Obviously this could probably have been done better, but with the materials that I had and my wanting to make something, it worked out really well. We're pausing now for technical difficulties. This is falling apart and this is not good, so hold on a minute. Okay, so yes, I think I've saved it for right now anyway. So yeah, this is not a perfect thing. This does not work like super well, but for no money and for some fun craftiness, because I love a good craft, it was very fun. I decorated it with washi tape, oodles and oodles of washi tape. So this is the side, and then I drew a Sharpie on it to say needles. No! Some needles have just fallen out, so this is not amazing. This is not great, but I made it, and I'm happy with how it turned out for the most part, considering that it didn't cost anything, and considering that I did it within like a total of like 2 hours, or less than 2 hours, an hour and a half maybe. So yeah, for the front, all I did was I took a piece of paper and I took some various washi tapes from my collection. Here, let me put this up for you better. And I decorated it. I just went at an angle, and then I folded the sides over on the edge. And yeah, and I created a very nice cover. This is the second one that I did, and this is the one you'll see on the little video clip, or the one that you saw if it was previously. And I did the first one that I did, I wrote needles on it as well, and I didn't like how that turned out, so I put it on the back. Ta-da! Look at me go. So I still have it because I like the combination of washi tape, but I just don't like how needles looks on it. So that's on the back. And picking up the needles that have fallen down. So yes, this is my new needle storage. It is not very good. It probably will not stay this way for very long. By very long, I mean maybe a year. Who knows? Who knows? What I would really like to get eventually is one of those like little file CD boxes, and then put them in there. because I've seen a lot of those. They work really well. They're very easy to store that way. But you do have to go and get them, and that is the thing. So I didn't have to go get any of these things. I already had all of them. So yay! Needle storage. DIY needle storage. Yay, yay, yay. It also sits up very nicely. So yes, that is also a plus. I'm gonna set that down so it doesn't fall apart again. Like always, you can find all the various links to the things that I've talked about in the show notes that can be found on my blog. If you're on YouTube, that'll be linked down below in the down bar, along with all the various links to all my various social medias, such as Twitter, Facebook, Ravelry, and Instagram. I am most active on Instagram and a little bit more on Twitter, so that is great. If you want to see any kind of updates on my life, definitely follow me on Instagram. That is the place to be. I have an online yarn shop that you can go and buy some hand-dyed yarn. If you'd like to do that, that will be linked down below. There's also a Ravelry podcast group. If you go to Ravelry and click on the groups tab and search the Catnip podcast, it'll pop up, but that will also be linked down below and in the show notes on my blog. I think that is all I need to say. I think as far as important things like that go, yes. If you are a new viewer, thank you so much for checking me out. I really appreciate it. If you liked it, you can give it a like, and you can if you can subscribe if you like to be notified, or subscribe if you want to see my videos, if you want what am I trying to say? Subscribe if you'd like to see my videos show up in your feed, but if you'd like to get an email notifying you when I upload, you can click that little bell right next to the subscription button. Thank you so much if you are a returning viewer. I really appreciate you coming back and spending so much time with me, just listening to me ramble on about my knitting and other things like DIY needle container storage things that don't work very well. And smoothie bags. But yes, thank you so much for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I hope you have good crafty plans. If you don't, that's super cool too, but if you do, I hope they are successful. I hope to continue to knit on both these items and some other things, hopefully, and to get more progress done. So yes, I hope to get that done, and I hope your crafty plans are just as successful. So yes, and I think that is all I need to say. So I'll see you guys next week. Bye!